I decided, you know what? I think it's time that I got some new friends to go into my doll houses, and besides this guy. You're fine though. Alright, so I found this little skeleton guy who just happens to be exactly the size, the right proportions to go into all my little miniature kits, and I thought I'd make my own little dolls. And I'm going to just start out with getting the size, so we're going to make a big tall U, just a smidge taller than our skeleton, and then we're going to go and make the arms here. We're going to make a shorter U. So we got a tall one for the legs and the head, and a short one for the arms. I'm going to go through my bead collection here, and we need one about the size of the head, and these ones seem to be just right. So any color, whatever, doesn't matter. This one seems neutral enough. And then I have a whole bunch of embroidery thread. So we'll just choose a couple colors. I mean, I'm a pale person, so let's make a pale person. And there's a perfect little peach right in front. And that's going to be our skin color. You could really do anything you want. And then we'll find something for the hair. I decided to do a pink hair. I used to have pink hair way back when. So let's go with that. To make the hair, we kind of have to do this in stages. So I'm just gonna, and it just depends on how long you want it. I want kind of kind of like mine. It's a little bobbed. So I'm gonna do about 4 fingers around, and I'm just gonna wrap it around. Just depends on how full you want your hair. I think about 10 times or so will be plenty. And then we're gonna cut it off. Okay, you're going to grab your bunch of hair kind of in the middle and put it right in between your little V here. These are going to be the legs. And then you're going to put your head right there and go all the way up to the top. You're going to see it starting to form. This holds the hair in place. Now you could stop right there, but your little pipe cleaner is going to show. So you just want to go down just a smidge more, not all the way through, just enough so that you don't see that pipe cleaner. Perfect. Next we're going to stick the arm on, and I went a little too low, so she's got a really long neck on this one. I did test this out before I tried doing it again. It never turns out the same twice, right? But you just twist the arms in, and there you go. You almost have a person. And then you could either do this by hand, or I like using my pliers because I can keep it consistent. So just use the same spot on your pliers for the little hands. And then you're going to do the same thing for the feet, just slightly bigger. And then you're going to bend it up so they look like little feet. So you make a loop, and then level it out. Little foot. Let's do it again. Loop. And a little foot. Ta-da! That's the easy part. It's all easy. These are easy little dolls to make. And we're just checking for the size. Look at that. Almost exactly the right size. Next, we're going to wrap every piece of pipe cleaner. So I've done this with yarn. I've done it with embroidery thread. It's just whatever you have a lot of. I just use extra pieces and parts to make these little dolls. So just start winding, and you're going to go up the arm, down the arm, up the arm, down the arm. You'll go in kind of a star pattern until everything's all covered up. The only trick I would say is the hands and the feet. You could do it where you do it where it's not looped yet, so you can go all the way down, back, and then bend the feet. Sometimes it sticks better, but this time around I'm going to do it as it's looped. And you get a little stick figure looking guy with punk rock hair. And I'm just going to trim the back and glue it down. I've tried different glues. The best glue, especially with fabrics and yarns and strings, is the tacky glue. I also put a little dab of glue on each hand and each foot, because when you're wrapping these, it's kind of going diagonal and sideways. It does tend to unravel in those spots, and it also gets down all the spots that you kind of missed. You can trim the pipe cleaner fringes that stick out, and there you go. Now we need to do her hair. So I'm going to get as close as I can to the top, because we want it to fringe down. We don't want it stuck to her head all the way down. And then you're just going to organize the threads. Take your time, or you could just smush it down. You can make it as precise or as messy as you want. And I kind of worked in layers and just trim the ones that you missed and lay it down. You can make it into ponytails, updos, you can make short hair. Just be as creative as you want. There you go. Now, she needs a little bit of fringe there. So let's give her a haircut. Ta-da! What's nice about these haircuts is if you mess up, you can just start over again. Just glue some more hair on there. I also went through and just kind of separated the strands just to make it more hair-like until you get it to where you want it. She's looking pretty good. But she's naked. So let's get out a bunch of little scraps of material that I have. And I think I want to go with a kind of a purple theme. And we're going to go with this little flannel piece for her shirt. And we'll do the little floral calico for her skirt. She's very stylish. You can do however you want. I'm not a sewer, so I glue everything, and I just kind of measure it to the body where I want to go. So what I'm gonna end up doing is wrapping each arm for the sleeve and just gluing it on, and then kind of making a vest poncho for the middle to go over all our seams. This is where you can become your own fashion designer. Do whatever you want. I've used ribbons, material. You could even wrap it in string so it looks like she has a little swimsuit on. You can make it into mermaids. You can go crazy with these. go. And now we got a little shirt. Now she needs some pants, or at least a skirt, right? So, let's see. Stay with the pink. Yeah, that one. So we want to make, I'm imagining a skirt for her, so I'm going to use something round. The smaller the circle, the shorter the skirt. So I'm thinking of like a little, kind of a mini skirt, but that floofs out a little bit. So I'm going to use the bottom of my glue bottle as my template. Just kind of draw it out and then cut your circle. Can't be easier. Once I got the little skirt on, it was a little too UFO looking, so I tried to make a kind of little pleats in there. So I put a dab of glue, folded it, so it kind of had a crease there. I used my little tiny clothespins to hold it down, let the glue dry, and that helped the skirt go down a little bit more instead of straight out like a tutu. Once the glue dried, it kind of got the effect I wanted. We're experimenting. You just go for it until it looks right. So I'm going to take some dark purple and I'm going to make a belt. We're going to tie this all together. And it'll also cinch the waist a little bit more. Ta-da! And we can embellish her. We can make a necklace, or we can put it down below, or we can, I think I ended up putting it in the back. You can go crazy. You can even put hair ties. Get as fancy or simple as you like. Now she needs a little face. And again, you never do two of them at the same way. So we're just going to go real simple. 2 dots. We're going to do kind of a little eyelash. And a little smile. What's nice with these painted beads is if you really mess up, the paint will just come right off if you wipe it off. So at the end, we're going to seal it up, and I'll show you how I do it. Don't worry if it's not super perfect. These are easily changed. Ta-da! She's cute. And let's put a little blush on there. Just a slight shade darker than what the bead is. And I decided to do one more. It kind of looks like a little turnip head. thought, I'm gonna make me a little boy or a little tom girl, whatever. And I want her to wear plaid shirt and some coveralls. So I'm gonna make his plaid shirt. I'm gonna do it a little differently. I'm gonna try this way. So I'm gonna kind of make it like a poncho, and then I'm gonna wrap the arms so it looks more like a shirt. Again, you can just play with this forever. You can do it however you want. I mean, it's just scrap material, so if you mess up, just take it off and try again. Try something else. I think this method for me worked pretty well. And this is where I tried using kind of the Elmer's school glue, and it didn't stick as well. I learned the hard way that that's not good for material. I did end up having to go back and kind of re-glue it a little bit. And for you sewers, go crazy. You could probably make some awesome outfits. Now I had an idea that I wanted to make little overalls. When I saw this denim material, I was like, we have to make overalls. So how I decided to do it was just make one long fold and then kind of cut it in the shape where it just kind of goes over the head. Yeah, like that. And then I'm going to cut room for the legs, and then we'll do the little straps at the top. I'm sure there was an easier way to do this, but this is what worked in for me. This is how you learn to do things. You just kind of do it. I think that's working out pretty well. Now we're going to cuff the ends. I made it long on purpose just for this reason. So I'm going to fold it up and I'm going to pinch it with my clothespins and let it dry. And while that's dry, I'm going to attempt to tame this wild hair. So I'm going to take a little toothpick and try to separate all the little strands so we have some hair to work with. You could leave it that way so it looks more like, I don't know, chunky curls or something like that. But I wanted more strands to work with, make it a little more spiky. And then I'm just going to glue it down. I did go with a shorter look. And we're just gonna, this time I'm gonna be a little less precise. I'm just gonna kind of smush it down. Just like that. We got a messy little boy here. There we go. He's looking less and less like a little turnip. Alright. And then you just kind of play with the hair until it's where you want it. You trim it, smush it. I tried to push it a little to the side. We're going to give him a slight Bieber look, but not really. It's like a messy Bieber. I think doing the hair is my favorite. It's very therapeutic, just kind of organizing all the little strands. You could go super long and braid it, and you can do it. It would be very fun. I probably will do like 20 more. There he is. Perfect. Now let's get some pants on you. And those dried good enough. Put it over, and then we're going to wrap it around his little legs there. Just like we did the sleeves on the shirts. And probably cinch it in a little bit. Ta-da! Pretty much how I imagined it. And I think he needs a face too. This one will go nice and simple. He just wants to go outside and play in the dirt. So nothing fancy. And, yep, he's going to get a little color to the cheeks too. It's warm outside. And there they go. There's the pink hair, the green hair, and then my first trial. I tried making shoes. It's a little tricky. I think hers turned out pretty well. You can tell that I use a red pipe cleaner, and that was my learning one. And here's where I'm going to seal their faces. Now make sure you do this once the paint is dry, because otherwise it's going to smear all over the place. But I just used my clear nail polish and just gave it a nice little coat so that for future because if you didn't seal it, that paint will just chip right off. And there they are. Best friends forever. Or maybe siblings. What do you think? Should we make a story for them? And they're cute and happy, so that we can go on some adventures. So let's do that. So what do you think? Pretty nice? Got a couple new friends. I made new friends. Literally. Well, I hope you enjoy this. And I think I'm just gonna hang out here for a while. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. That'd be great, right? And if you haven't already, subscribe. You know the spiel. Anyway, have a great day. Bye. Can I sit with you guys?